Hi there folks, Rel here. A lot of people ask why I use restoration kits over med kits, and this isn't always the case. I actually use them both depending on the character. But today we'll look at the differences between restoration kits and medical kits, so we can hopefully answer that question and maybe give you some insights you can explore.
The enemy has taken the facility.
Resto and med kits are both utility items that are unlocked universally, meaning that if you purchase one, it's going to be available to all of your classes. But because they go in your utility slot, they actually take the place of mines and of C4 and other utility slot items. Resto kits may be purchased for 30, 100, 200, and 500 certs, while med kits are purchased for 50, 100, 150, and 500 certs. So the Resto kits are cheaper for the first level, but they're a little bit more expensive at rank 3, and this is actually the reason why I originally bought Restos in the first place, is because rank 1 was just less expensive. But certs nowadays are pretty easy to come by, so this isn't as big of a draw as it used to be. If you end up maxing out one of these cert lines, you'll be able to hold 4 kits total, which is a whole lot of extra health, making you very survivable on the battlefield without relying on a medic. Kits are going to cost you 75 infantry resources per use, regardless of which kind you're using, and each have about a half-second cast time, so the time it takes for you to stab yourself with. And if you're sprinting just like C4 or grenades, you're going to slow down to a walking speed before you begin casting. And this is probably the biggest downside with either kit, is because oftentimes we're actually running away from enemies while we're trying to heal ourselves. So the pro tip to kind of circumvent this slowdown, so instead of sprinting and then you slow down, you stab yourself and then you start sprinting again, is to just jump and then stab yourself mid-jump. And then when you land, the hang time is actually it's long enough on the standard jump to actually get the heal off, and when you hit the ground you actually won't break stride. Just like C4 though, if you're playing with a light assault, you can circumvent the slowdown effect by just using your jump jets, or while sliding along the ground using drifters. Now to break the kits down individually, medical kits will heal you to full. Regardless of whether you have NANOWEAVE or not, it's 100% of your health, 100% of the time. And it's not technically instant a lot of the times, especially during times of great lag, but the health is always going to be given back to you at the very least in chunks and very, very quickly. So it's effectively instant. And really that's all there is to med kits. They're pretty simple. Restoration kits, on the other hand, seem to heal about 85% of your max health over 6 seconds. So if you have at least 3 bars of health left, you're going to be healed to full, unless the server is really laggy, in which case it'll often reset your health a little bit lower. And the same thing happens when you're using a medic tool and you're trying to heal people up and they never seem to get topped off. It's the same sort of thing. It's really strange, but it definitely is an issue that exists. So the 85% health you get is regardless of whether you're using NANOWEAVE or not. It's effectively scaling the more health you have. So from a raw health perspective, without NANOWEAVE, you're healing roughly 70 health per second. So about every 2 seconds you're going to be able to survive another bullet at point blank range. That's assuming a 143 damage carbine or something like that. But with max NANOWEAVE armor, which adds 250 health at max rank, it's going to set you at 750 health. So you'll actually be healing about 106 health per second. So that's a little bit more than a bullet's worth every second and a half. If you're an infiltrator or even a passenger on a Wraith cloaked flash, your health will stop regenerating if you cloak, and you also cannot use medkits while cloaked. So just thought I'd throw those two things out real quick. So when it comes down to it, the biggest difference between the two is that one pops you to full instantly, and the other heals 85% of your max health over 6 seconds. The advantages of the medical kit are pretty obvious. If you're extremely low, you just pop the medical kit and boom, you're back to full. But let me give you a scenario. So if you're attacked, your shield gets broken, and then you get winged by a bullet on your way to running to cover, what do? Do you pop a medkit if you're only missing a few bars? If you don't feel like it's worth it, or if you feel like you're going to be taking more damage, you likely want to wait until you have lost more health. That way the medkit feels as if it's more valuable. Now what if that guy chases you into cover? You're going to die before you can even stab yourself with the medkit. So the medkit is forcing you to make a decision. Are you going to use it now when you've lost a couple bars, or are you going to wait until you're very low and then save the kit for then? Because we do have a limited amount of these. It's less of an issue, of course, when you have 4 of them, but yeah, that's kind of the paradox. So now let's use the same scenario. You're being attacked, your shield gets broken, you get winged by a bullet, and you pop your Resto kit. A few bars of health you were missing get pumped back to full, and then for the next 5 seconds or so you're going to be getting that same sort of health regen. So if the guy decides to chase you around the cover and finish the job, you can focus on fighting him while you're getting some healing done to you, instead of waiting to time your med kit when you're extremely close to death. I mean, does that make sense? Is that kind of a reasonable scenario? Because it does happen to me a lot. I have to make that decision. Am I going to heal up now, or am I going to try to run, make it to some more cover, and then heal up then? More likely though, you're going to be using that med kit when you've already barely escaped death, and instantly getting that health back is very, very useful, and it's going to help you get back into the fight. So what it comes down to, just the simplest breakdown I could think of, is that medical kits are best when you're already missing health. Restoration kits are best when you know you're going to take health damage in the near future, and they're also good when you're missing health. A couple more notes about the Resto kit is that they do not stack with themselves, so you can't just spam them and hope to heal yourself faster. It just doesn't work. They do, however, stack with healing grenades, they stack with the medic's AoE heal, and they stack with other medics that are funneling heals on you. A lot of people like to talk about stacking heals as the medic class, and it does work to some degree, but setting up the combo is more likely to get you killed than just doing other things. Because it takes time to throw a healing grenade, which lasts for 10 seconds, and then you gotta pop your Resto kit, which lasts for 6 seconds, and then you have to hope that the enemy breaks your shields so that you can start using the enhanced health regen. Or if your shields are already broken, you've got to go behind cover, and then you've got to toss a grenade, activate the Resto kit, without getting shot again, or else you're probably going to die. So you're investing in a very gimmicky strategy, when just running away from the fight is probably very, very viable and very smart thing to do. It is, however, extremely, extremely useful when coupled with the Heavy Assault's Resist Shield. Now the Resist Shield reduces damage taken by 45%, so even if you're not rocking NANOWEAVE armor, you're still going to be able to soak up a bullet every second. And that's extremely valuable when you're fighting from cover and when you're only taking a bullet every now and again. And it's even more useful when you've already got a medic funneling heals on you. And as a side note, a Resto Nano Resist Heavy Assault is bar none the most tanky class in the game due to the sheer amount of effective health available. So that's about it. I know it was nice and short. Overall, both the medkits are very effective in combat, and while they do have specific things that they are best at, the roles also overlap a little bit. So I do prefer Resto kits myself, because hardly ever am I in a position where I just need to instantly get back to full health. More likely, I'm going to pop a Resto kit at about half health when I'm running away, and then turn around and start returning fire. Or I'll run into a fight, I'll jump up in the air, stab myself with a Resto, and then try to clear the room. That way I'm getting some healing if they do pop my shields. But if this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the channel. And if you have any more insight as to either the Resto or the medical kit, please feel free to leave a comment or a video response below. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.